Tom Homan, Border Czar, sir. Thank you for taking a moment in the break from among the most important, if not the most important, mission of the Trump administration so far. Sir, can you just tell us? We've been covering, and this audience is very familiar with the details of what has been going on, the total shutdown of illegal crossings by over 90%, all that. Can you tell us what comes now? What are the escalations? What are the things that we should expect in the weeks and months ahead from the perspective of border security?
Well, as far as border security, I'm looking at the numbers this morning. Our crossings compared to Biden administration, we're down 97%. We're looking at about 200 apprehensions a day, and that's down from 17,000 under Biden. So it's a 97% decrease. The most impressive number I saw was the number of gotaways. And in 2023 under Biden, gotaways, and these are known gotaways. These are people we captured on video during traffic or central traffic that got away. They weren't apprehended because Border Patrol was too busy dealing with the humanitarian crisis, families, and all that other stuff. So they're dealing about 1,800 on average a day. The gotaways yesterday, 41. 41 across 2,000 miles of border. So, I've been doing this since 1984. I've never seen that number, ever. So the southern border is at the best place I remember it being, and President Trump was able to do that in 1 month, right? So we got some more work to do because 41 gotaways are 41 too many gotaways. I want zero gotaways. Once we get zero gotaways, we can say we have total operational control of the southern border, and we're going to get there. And I really truly believe that. So we got some more things to do. Where the gotaways are, we're flexing resources, enforcement personnel, DOD, and Border Patrol to those areas, and just see if we squeeze them out. We're asking Mexico now that President Trump forced Mexico to put military on the border. We're asking them to impede and deny entry, which means they shouldn't be touching your soil. So we're working on that. We'll get to that end game very soon. As far as the interior enforcement, I looked at the numbers this morning. We're just shy of 25,000 arrests in the interior United States by ICE, vast majority of them being criminals. We need to do better. Look, the numbers are more than twice as much as Biden a year ago today. We've doubled the amount of criminal arrests. We've doubled the amounts of gang arrests. We've doubled the amount of illegal aliens arrested. But I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. The numbers need to be more. Twice over the president that did virtually nothing is not impressive to me. We need to do more. So we're putting more teams out there. We just brought in some contractors on to increase the targeting, put more targets out there to the field teams to go look for. We got the whole government. We've got the FBI, U.S. Marshals, DEA, ATF. All these agencies are bringing any criminal investigation they have to deal with foreign nationals. So we're working on that. I got Pam Bondi at the table now, soon sanctuary cities. So we're constantly putting roadblocks up and causing us to be less efficient. So we got a lot of things working. So I expect those arrests on the interior to rise in the very near future, and then I'll be happier.
How much, thanks for coming on, and thank you for all the work you're doing. We're talking to Tom Homan, 97% down on border crossings, 25,000 arrests, two times what Biden was doing on arrest violent criminals. And again, the work you've done in a month speaks for itself. You mentioned a little bit there at the end, Pam Bondi being in now as Department of Justice. You got Cash, and you've got Dan Bongino now running the FBI. How much opposition? There have been reports that sometimes ICE is getting the raids are being tipped off in advance from deep staters who may well oppose what you're trying to do. How much do you think that is actually going on? And to what extent does there need to be an investigation into opposition from inside of our own government?
Well, to what extent? One is too many, but we have identified how the leak occurred for Aurora, Colorado. That's being investigated. Now we've identified that person. So we'll see how that investigation turns out, but most likely going to end up in a removal and prosecution. The secretary has information that maybe a leaker came out of FBI. I'm not privy to that. And if there is, they'll be dealt with too. But I want to say this, because the vast majority of agents out there, 99.9% of these agents out there, including FBI agents, are doing a great job. And they're out there taking bad guys off the street. So look, one's too many. We've identified one and maybe another one. But I just came back from Houston, Texas. I ran an operation in Colony Ridge. We arrested 119 people. That operation went seamless, flawless. We took a lot of bad guys out of there. That's a cartel presence there, but they got cartel presence no more. So we're going to keep doing it, and we're not going to stop. The biggest problem is is the sanctuary cities who are constantly, for instance, in L.A., they're putting pictures up of our officers, their names, their phone numbers, their address, doxing them. And I met with Pam Bondi this morning. I want a DOJ opinion. When you put an agent's picture, name, address, phone number in a public view, saying here's other people out doing this stuff, I think that's impediment. I think that crosses the line. So I want her opinion on if we can go identify who's doing this, to arrest them, put handcuffs on them. So I'm waiting that opinion. I should get it any day now.
Speaking to border czar Tom Homan, who spent decades as a guy on the front lines of our border and the national security implications of our border, and understands all the ins and outs of this. And Tom, on the issue of the ramp up. I mean, you've talked about the numbers. First of all, the shutting down the border illegal crossings the way that you've already done. It's been phenomenal. It has shown the Democrats wanted the wide open border. So it's a huge win already that the Trump administration has delivered for the whole country. But then there's the issue of the 10 million plus who came in under Biden and the millions and millions of others who are at various stages of illegal status here. The overall number is not something that we seem to have a real definite sense of. But to get to the kind of numbers that Trump was talking about on the campaign trail would have to be a dramatic increase in deportations. And there is some talk that's already circulating of a private sector auxiliary, if you will. Eric Prince's name has been floated as somebody involved in this. Is that something the administration would consider, meaning bringing in private sector to help with the deportations? If so, or if not, what is the plan to get these numbers to where there are, hundreds of thousands being deported a month instead of whatever the current number is?
Well, I can tell you, I've been told that I've been sent that plan, but I haven't seen it. Again, I'm dealing with 500 emails a day without about 1,000 texts, so I'm slammed. I haven't seen that plan, but I've said from the beginning we need to contract a lot of this work out. What I mean is non-law enforcement work, right? We got badges and guns with immigration authority processing. We got them writing warrants. We got them doing transportation. We got them doing intelligence work. We got them on ground and air transport. I want to take every badge and gun with immigration authority and put them on the street. Things that don't, like, we spend thousands of hours a week processing illegal aliens. That doesn't take a badge and gun. It doesn't take immigration authorities. It takes someone that speaks Spanish to process these people for us. So I'm looking at now to build out a large contracting machine to take law enforcement officers out of those non-law enforcement duties and put them on the street. Of course, that takes money. It takes a lot of money. So I've been up on the Hill several times in the last couple of weeks telling Congress, you need to pass this border bill and get us the money to do that. And the more money we have, the more successful we will be. It puts more agents on the street. It puts more bad guys in jail, and our deportation flights will go a lot higher. But I can tell you this, I was contacted by a media person, push this false narrative that our removal numbers are behind Biden. But let's remember, Biden was counting Border Patrol removals with ICE removals. So, of course, this number is higher. Millions of people a day were crossing the border. We got the border locked down. But if you look at interior arrests, just those arrested in the interior by ICE, we more than double them. But again, I'm not happy with that. We've had 10 times more than Biden because Biden wasn't doing very much. So that is the plan right now, contracting a lot of this work out. I haven't seen the plan you talked about. I'm looking forward to reading it. But right now, we got to get law enforcement officers, every one of them on the street, take them away from these non-enforcement duties and get them doing what they should be doing, putting handcuffs on a bad guy. So certainly looking forward to reading it. We'll see where we go from there. But the whole concept of contracting that work out makes sense to me. It's what we need to do.
We're talking to Tom Homan. Borders are doing incredible work so far. Two-part question here. One, how has Eric Adams, New York City's mayor, cooperation been with you so far? I saw the Roosevelt Hotel was getting shut down. Second part, can Buck and I come with you on an ICE raid at some point to see for ourselves what your crew's doing?
To answer the second question, we'll make that work. We've had a lot of media out there, and we pulled back the media just because we want to verify the leaks, but I certainly don't think you guys are going to leak anything.
You don't have to worry about us tipping off the bad guys.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're certainly looking at that right now. Media ride-alongs are just on hold while we Look at
Can
the
I say something,
entire.
Tom? Clay hasn't really even been to the border, so we would love to get with Border Patrol, get up in a helo, see what's going on. I mean, I've been down many times, but I want to get down with Clay, so we want to talk to your team
We'll
about
make
that.
that happen. Look, we'll make that happen. Look, I've been from day one. I said I want to be transparent with the American people, show them exactly what we're doing, exactly who we're arresting, exactly why we're doing it. We put a hold on it just while we're dealing with these leaks, but we're getting close, getting beyond that now, so we'll fire them back up. As far as Mayor Adams, well, I'll find out next week. I'll be with him next week, and he's supposed to be writing executive orders to get back in Rikers. If he does that, getting us into Rikers, that's a game changer. But I know he wants to do the right thing. Or what irritates me is that he wants to be a law and order mayor, and because he wants to be a law and order mayor, because he's talking to Tom Homan, Governor Hochul wants to fire him. And this is the same lady who stood on national TV a month ago when illegal aliens were beating up on NYPD when they were, setting a woman on fire on the subway. She says she fully supports the arrest and deportation of criminal aliens. Yet she wants to fire the mayor that's going to let us into Rikers Island. Are you kidding me? And plus, she still has a green light law, which means if you're an ICE agent or if you're a Border Patrol agent, you can't have access to New York State DMV data, which means if you're in a patrol car, you're getting ready to pull somebody over, like law enforcement does every day, you run a license plate number. It's try to find out who's in that car, who owns that car, see if there's wants and warrants in that car. The men and women of ICE and Border Patrol do not have access to that data. So much for her words saying she supports the deportation of criminals. She continues to put up roadblocks. Instead of her firing Mayor Adams, the voters in New York need to fire her because she talks out of one side of her mouth and acts differently on the other side. So she should be removed. That's my opinion.
Tom Homan, I think you are the definition of the right man for the job, and it is an absolutely critical job for the nation right now. So we are thankful for your many years of service, and we are very thankful that you are in this position now as borders are, and we'll be in touch with you and let us know we can get the truth out about what's happening there. So thank you so much, sir, and please keep up the great work.
And God bless the men and women of the United States Border Patrol. God bless the women of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're boots on the ground. They are making this happen. So God bless them.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been supporting America's greatest heroes and their families, heroes who protect our communities and our country, heroes like firefighter James Dickman. He was passionate about fire safety and aspired to do everything in his power to keep his community and fellow firefighters safe. While responding to an apartment fire, James and his crew tried to save people who were trapped inside. When the situation escalated, James was not able to escape and he perished in the blazing inferno. The cause of that fire was arson. James leaves behind his loving wife, Jamie, and his children, Paige and Grant. Tunnel to Towers gave the Dickman family the gift of a mortgage free home. Jamie is grateful to Tunnel to Towers and to caring friends like you for lifting the financial burden of a mortgage off her shoulders. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.